story today, some new charges coming down from the U.S. Attorney's Office. Today. First Assistant Attorney Joe Thompson announcing those charges today. We do have Paul Blume standing by here. Lauren and Paul, let you kind of take it from here.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that was the press conference we listened to at the top of the hour, announcing a couple of new charges regarding fraud that we've been talking about for months here. Paul Blume, he was in the room when those new charges were announced. We heard his voice. Paul, good afternoon. Thank you for your time. Walk us through what we learned today, especially regarding these new charges.
Yeah, I mean, the big developments as it relates to fraud in the state of Minnesota. You know, this is a red hot issue politically, in the community, culturally, reaches all the way to the White House and really connects to the ongoing immigration crackdown when you think about the surge that is occurring in our community. So the day began, I actually went to a plea hearing for one of the defendants, Asha Hassan. This is a woman charged with 2 frauds. I mean, it's one case. She pleaded guilty to wire fraud, looking at somewhere between 5 and 8 years in prison. When she's eventually sentenced, she's accused, or is admitted now, fraudulently billing the state for funds to serve needy children. Remember, Feeding Our Future, she's part of that scheme. And she also admitted being part of the ongoing autism scheme. Businesses submitting false paperwork, paying illegal kickbacks to families, overbilling for services, cheating on services that were never provided. She has pled guilty in that type of fraud. Her restitution dollar amount is upwards of $16 million. The government thinks this one woman alone fraudulently abused her role as a business owner in the community. 29 years old, born in Somalia, American citizen. She pled guilty today. So that's where I began my day at 10:30 for her court appearance, and then went downstairs to the U.S. Attorney's Office, where Joe Thompson, you mentioned, he was the acting U.S. Attorney, now first chair. The U.S. Attorney is actually traveling this week. The new U.S. Attorney, he's traveling in Israel at the minute, but Joe Thompson announced 6 new charges in these ongoing fraud schemes related to autism, related to housing stability. He laid out the giant iceberg that he has talked about in the past about how much fraud has likely occurred in Minnesota over the last 6 years. He singled out 14 specific sort of medical service programs that are billed through Medicaid and the federal government. 14 services, total funding for those over the last 5 years, $18 billion. Now, he doesn't believe all of the $18 billion is fraudulent, but he certainly believes, I would say, half plus is likely to have been fraudulently obtained by businesses. So you start talking some massive dollar amounts in this state. So he charged several more people, and perhaps the one that might hit people the hardest in terms of the details of it is what he is now calling fraud tourism. So 2 men from Philadelphia allegedly showed up in Minnesota, rented sort of a bogus office to sort of just set up a business in the housing stability world, meaning giving allowing people to live independently and on their own, perhaps needing significant care, coming out of homelessness, coming out of drug, medical rehab, to give people homes, rent apartments, rent condos, live on their own, provide services for them. He is alleging, and the U.S. Attorney's Office is alleging, that it was a complete scheme, and that these 2 fraudsters, alleged at this point from Philadelphia, came to Minnesota, fraud tourists, believing that it's an easy place to steal money, to get away with this kind of scheme. And they have charged these 2 men with fraud tourism. I don't have the exact dollar amounts they're expected that they may be responsible for, but a pretty significant new charge. And then I think probably a new phrase that we'll start hearing around this debate in Minnesota: fraud tourism, and people coming to Minnesota thinking that they can get away with stealing money from federal grant program.
Yeah, that one piqued my interest too, because it kind of opens a bag of worms of how many people knew about this and how many people came here to take advantage of the system. I think it was you, Paul, that asked the assistant attorney, how many people do we think have stolen from multiple of these services like ASHA? And additionally, we learned about a brand new organization that we hadn't heard of yet in terms of fraud, the ICS. So it sounds like we are learning about so many new avenues of potential fraud, of allegations of fraud. What do you make of all of this new information we learned today?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it stems from Feeding Our Future. You heard Joe Thompson talk about that. Asha Hassan had an autism business, basically, you know, where she purported to be interested in providing service and care for children in need of autism services. And during that time, which was, as we know now, largely a fraudulent business, she also submitted paperwork and licensing to serve needy children. She comes out of the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme. Now, he didn't put an exact an exact number of defendants who he expects to be charged sort of in the two buckets, but he certainly talked about how the Feeding Our Future scheme and providing a location. I want to remind people that was where, you know, they were supposed to be feeding needy children, especially during the pandemic. You signed up. The Feeding Our Future was the sponsor. You had a location. Sorry, I hope my phone's just kind of acting up here. I hope you can still see
You're
me.
good.
But
Yep.
Okay. So Feeding Our Future, so you had a location where you could potentially feed children, and she had signed up for her autism office building to supposedly feed those children, and she never did. Billing in both buckets, if you will, billing for autism services she wasn't providing, or if she was, you know, she would submit, you know, maybe a child got 1 hour of care and she would bill for 8 hours of care. They would fraudulently sign documents from doctors signing up a child who might not otherwise be on the autism spectrum. So I do think there is, as the U.S. Attorney's Office talked about today, I do think there is a fair amount of overlap. And when you think about these sort of 14 medical programs, you know, housing stability, personal care assistance in the homes, you could see how businesses could try to bill under similar services. Oh, I provide the house, or I provide the apartment. Okay, now I can provide the meal once a day, or I can come in and supposedly send a caregiver into the home. So you could see how, you know, one business or one business owner or several, you know, people who own a business in tandem could sort of bill the state, the federal government. I mean, it's administered through state agencies, how that could happen. And that is why you would potentially see an overlap between the people being charged in the various schemes.
Yeah. Fascinating. New information all coming out today. Paul, thank you so much for your time. We'll be hearing from you on our newscasts later today.